Hi there, everyone. Welcome back to 3 News Now. Today is Friday, May 14th. I'm Stephanie Haney, and I have your top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. Thanks for choosing to be here to get filled in on what is happening here in Northeast Ohio and beyond. We actually start with a story out of Columbus today. The city of Columbus has agreed to pay the family of Andre Hill $10 million. This will be the largest settlement to come out of the city. This is related to the police killing of Andre Hill back in December. He was shot by former officer Adam Coy on December 22nd. And in addition to that financial settlement, the city will also be naming a community center gymnasium after Andre Hill. Here's what we know about what happened on December 22nd. Officers responded to a 911 call reporting a suspicious vehicle. They arrived in the area and they came upon a garage where Hill was inside, and it was later learned that Hill was there visiting a friend. Now, neither of those officers turned on their body-worn cameras, but there is video that shows then Officer Coy coming up to the garage and Hill coming from around a vehicle with a cell phone in his left hand. We don't see his right hand in the video. Seconds later, Coy removed his gun and did fire it at Hill. Hill was taken to the hospital, and then he later died. Now, it only took 6 days for the city to fire Coy, and he currently faces charges of murder, felonious assault, and reckless homicide. So now we know that the family will be receiving that $10 million settlement from the city of Columbus. That's after it's voted on. It has to be voted on. The Columbus City Council on Monday will vote on that. And if it does pass that vote, it will be the highest amount ever paid out by the city. Here in Cleveland police believe they've identified the suspected vehicle involved in the reported carjacking of Gina DeJesus. You remember Gina DeJesus is well known as being part of the miracle here in Cleveland that happened 8 years ago when she and 3 other women survived being kidnapped and held for years by Ariel Castro. Well, she was reportedly carjacked early on Thursday morning, and police now believe that it was a person driving a silver 2015 Toyota Camry. We have footage of that on WKYC.com, so you can check that out and see if you might have any information available. Anyone with information is asked to call 216-623-5118, and you can also provide anonymous information through Crime Stoppers by calling 216-25-CRIME. Now let's get to the thing that everyone is talking about, even around the country. This $1 million vaccine lottery that Ohio will be doing, that'll be starting May 26th. We're going to get more details about it next week, but we have a little bit more information now. We know that the state health department will handle these drawings with help from the Ohio Lottery Commission. We know that the money will come from the health department's unspent coronavirus relief funds that came from the federal government. We know that Ohio has already distributed millions of dollars in federal pandemic funds. It's now in line to receive about $5.4 billion, and that's from current President Joe Biden's $1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package. Obviously, $5.4 billion is a lot more than the $5 million that Governor DeWine has promised to pay out to vaccinated adults here in Ohio, and also the cost of those 5 full 4-year scholarships, including tuition, room, and board for 5 vaccinated young people between the ages of 12 and 17. Now, DeWine is getting a lot of flack from a lot of people for this. A lot of people say that money could be better spent in other places. There have been some think pieces out there that say this is actually an economical use of money if it does, in fact, motivate people to get vaccinated. Here's what DeWine says. He says he understands that people may think he is crazy, and he considers, and that other people might consider the concept a waste of money. But he said the real waste is the loss of life to the virus now that the vaccine is available. Now, with the new guidance out yesterday, the CDC saying that masks will no longer be required for vaccinated people in large outdoor settings and also in indoor settings, except for when it's very crowded. A lot of people are now wondering, what does that mean here for the state of Ohio? Well, remember, this is just CDC guidance right now. Governor DeWine has said those health orders will drop here in Ohio June 2nd. So unless he makes a move to change that, that's still the case here in Ohio. But even when those health orders go away here in the state of Ohio, businesses can still have their own rules and regulations. This brings up something else that people have been searching for again. This is a top story on WKYC.com right now. I wrote a piece a couple weeks ago on COVID-19 vaccine passports. And yes, it is true. Businesses can require that you prove that you are vaccinated before coming into their establishment. It's a lot like the idea of no shoes, no shirt, no mask now, or maybe not so long now, but we'll see how that goes. No service. It's that same contest. Private businesses can basically determine who can enjoy their services and in what way, for the most part, however they want to do it. Now, something that's not protected is your vaccination status. So yes, it is possible that this could happen. And we might see businesses continuing to require masks moving forward. So we are definitely in a very wait and see situation here as we hopefully wrap up this whole pandemic that we've been dealing with for quite so long. Speaking of that, let's take a look at the latest numbers. Globally, from Johns Hopkins University, the number of cases reported for COVID-19 to date is now at 161,355,499. As a reminder, the U.S. has 4% of the global population, but we have the most cases and the most deaths. We have 20.4% of the global COVID-19 cases. That number, 32,869,982 reported cases within the U.S. dating back to the beginning of the pandemic. There have been a total of 3,348,241 global deaths related to COVID-19. And in the U.S., we have 17.5% of those reported deaths. That number, 584,725. Let's take a look at the Ohio numbers now. These come from the Ohio Department of Health. In the last day, we've seen 1,014 new reported cases of COVID-19. And now we have reported 87 more deaths since we last got that data on Tuesday from the Ohio Department of Health. The total number of people who have passed away related to COVID-19 in Ohio is now at 19,528. Right now, there are 878 people currently hospitalized being treated for COVID-19. That number is down from yesterday, and 243 of those people are being treated in an ICU. Now, Governor DeWine's purpose with this vaccination lottery, the shottery as it is being called, or the Vaxamillion as he called it, is to get more people vaccinated. Our numbers are not reflecting that. In the last day, more than 20,000 people have gotten at least one COVID-19 vaccine shot. That is over 42% of Ohioans that have had at least one shot, and that's more than 4.9 million Ohioans. But that increase is a lot lower than we saw just a few weeks ago as people were really getting out there and getting those vaccines. People who are completely vaccinated in Ohio, now close to 37%. Close to 28,000 people in the last day got their second shot or their first and only shot of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. That's more than 4.3 million people here in Ohio who are completely vaccinated. One place you can get those vaccines is at the Wolstein Center at Cleveland State University, and now we know that Discount Drug Mart will be taking over the pharmacy operations there. That'll be through June 7th. Now, previously, it was the Cleveland Clinic that was doing the pharmacy operations there, but now we know that Ohio has chosen Discount Drug Mart to take over that job, and they will be doing it moving forward. It will be managing those operations with the Ohio Department of Health, the Ohio National Guard, the Ohio Emergency Management Agency, and support from the Federal Emergency Management Agency, that's FEMA, the U.S. Department of Defense, Cleveland State University, the City of Cleveland, and Cuyahoga County. Here's an interesting one that we just have to share with you today. This is making the rounds on social media. If you take a look at the South Euclid Police Department's Facebook page, you'll see an interesting story about a fight that took place in the potato chip aisle at Walmart. Officers said when they arrived, there was one woman who had a protection order out against another woman. This is dating back to the women when they lived in the same duplex in University Heights. Well, apparently, they made eye contact with each other at Walmart, and the person who has the protective order was confronted by the other woman. The other woman threatened to beat her, expletive, and her 7-year-old daughter, by the way. There was a child in the potato chip aisle as well. Well, one of the women pulled down her mask and tried to spit at the other woman, and then she missed. So what did she do? She grabbed a log of meat out of the woman's shopping cart and hit her in the face with a 10-pound log of pre-packaged meat. She was arrested, 25-year-old Cleveland woman. She's been charged with assault and violating a temporary protection order. Her 5-year-old child was with her, turned over to a family member. The South Euclid police, best thing in the whole story, they say it's unknown as what initially led to the beef between the two women. And that's where we'll leave that. Now, as we are looking towards the weekend, lots of days with 70 degrees in our future, we've got our roundup for you from Doug Tratner of the best beer gardens in the greater Cleveland area. Here's a couple of them. Hofbrauhaus on Chester Avenue. That's pretty near the Playhouse Square area. Fun fact for you, I did my very first ever shot ski there before the pandemic closed things down. I don't know if they're still doing shot skis, but Hofbrauhaus is a great joint if you're looking for a beer garden. Another one, Collision Bend in the Flats. The view here is just beautiful, and the food is great, and they have live music there. So that's a good option. Here's another one, Terrestrial Brewing. That is on Father Frascati Road, and it's in Battery Park. They've got great beer, a gourmet weekend brunch, and their beer garden is dog-friendly. And before we let you go here, our Tyler Carey on the digital content creation team, he continues to hit it out of the park with his stories about who or what will be the new name for our baseball team. Today, they're taking a look at the Cleveland Rockers. That came in second, surprisingly, in our poll with 22.5% of the votes. Now, a lot of people are a little bit sick of the guitar design, but apparently not everyone, because it did come in second in our poll. And this is enjoying a little bit less grassroots support. We're not exactly seeing people coming out with those logos and things on social media, but some people have mentioned that this could be a nice tribute to the late Michael Stanley, who passed away in March. And if you're looking for things to do this weekend, Cedar Point reopened officially today. We have everything that you need to know on WKYC.com. Remember, you do need a reservation, unless you're staying at the hotel at Cedar Point, because then your reservation is included with your stay. That's it for 3 News Now today for Friday, May 14th. I'll see you next up on What's New with your trending stories in the Clicking in Cleveland segment, and I'll see you back here on Monday for more 3 News Now. Between now and then, everyone, stay safe, be well, enjoy the beautiful weather that we have coming our way this weekend, and I'll see you next time. I'm